Someone who's no stranger to trade on both sides of the border. Kevin O'Leary is chairman of the O'Leary Ventures. He joins us now from Tucson, Arizona. Kevin, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's start with your take here. You've been a vocal critic of Justin Trudeau as a Canadian entrepreneur. What do you make of the fallout here over the departure of Chrystia Freeland?
First of all, Freeland is the worst finance minister Canada's ever had because she's never run a financial institution. She started as a journalist. I'm sure she's a nice person, but that budget she just delivered gives you an idea of how incompetent she is. It's good she's gone, but she's not the real problem. It's Trudeau. I don't know if you've looked at any number you'd like to measure in the last 9 years. GDP per capita, capital flows out of Canada, the growth of the Canadian economy stalled out. The deficit, just this last horrific budget, I mean, I don't recall in my professional life seeing a collapse like this. That's why the Canadian dollar is in free fall. It's Justin Trudeau and his policies. And remember, we have to celebrate the fact, if you want to talk about longevity, he's been very successful as a prime minister, and he did it all without any executional skills. Now, the Canadian people pay the price, and it's just horrific what's happening to the country. Unbelievable mess.
Okay, it's embattled at home, mocked abroad. Kevin, Trudeau and Canada now becoming the target of U.S. President Donald Trump's roasts here. How does Canada manage this relationship with what is an unpredictable U.S. leader?
Well, let's talk about why this is happening to Trudeau and why he is embarrassing Canada so much. As you recall in Trump's first mandate, both Freeland and Trudeau bashed Trump almost every day they could, thinking he would never come into power. He is a relationship guy. He doesn't respect or like Trudeau. He said so much in the last 2 or 3 days, as well as Freeland, who he despises from NAFTA 2 negotiations. She's gone. He would love to get rid of Trump, and I think he's doing a good job embarrassing every Canadian internationally with what he's doing with all of this social media. And Trump realizes that he won't be negotiating NAFTA 3 with Trudeau. Trudeau's going to be gone one way or another, and that's a very good thing for Canada. Canadians want to see their dollar in free fall. How long do they want to lose the value of their passport and the Canadian brand in places like Egypt, India, and China, where they don't even let us in anymore without a visa? Trudeau has done unbelievable damage to Canada over the last 9 years. Every Canadian has almost a moral obligation, regardless of where they come from or what their religion is or what party they're associated with, to get rid of this man. He is damaging the country, and I can't wait personally. I do everything I can every day. I broadcast all over the world talking about how weak he is as a leader and how important it is he must go. I'm doing my part. Every Canadian should ask themselves, what are we doing to get rid of this guy?
What should Canadians do to handle Trump, though, Kevin? Because we know Trump is a bombastic leader. He's someone who respects, as you said, relationships, also someone who respects what he perceives as strength. So what can Canada do, and what should Canada do as we face what could be increasingly more and more, it certainly looks like, an impending trade war?
Get a new leader now. If we want to compete with Trump, and believe me, he doesn't want to impose tariffs, not on energy or anything else. We're two big trading partners, particularly the states on the border themselves. You ask any governor or senator on a border state, they don't want this trade war. But we need a leader. And right now, I think what's going to happen, regardless of who they put in place to replace Trudeau, the Liberal Party is damaged. It has been very, very poor. Even liberals now understand they're going to be decimated in the next election. So I don't know whether it'll be a full majority mandate for the Conservatives or whether it'll be a minority, but it doesn't matter. We need new leadership to start negotiating with Trump every day, and then, of course, in this very important NAFTA 3 negotiation, which we're going to be facing quite soon. So it's really about Pierre Poilievre. Will he get elected, and when? And will he get a majority mandate? And it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just you gotta replace Trudeau. I mean, I'm here in Arizona. People are, they're laughing at us. They're laughing at us. And I'm tired of it, and every Canadian should be the same way. They think this whole Trudeau thing with Trump is a joke.
Kevin, is there not a concern also, though, that Poilievre could bring about a protectionist measures, and that could also create some issues?
It can't get any worse. So think of it this way. I've talked to him, as many business and investors have. His mandate is one, get rid of the carbon tax. Number two, create an environment where capital wants to come back to Canada, because the outflow of Canada, including our own pension funds, has dropped by almost 70%. Our competitiveness against the G20 bottom quartile. And then just before Freeland quit, or whatever she did, she proposed corporate capital gains tax that would have blown us to pieces against the competitiveness of the United States. She must have assumed that Harris was going to get in at a 28% tax rate, but now we're talking 15 to 21, and she's proposing 32. That'll decimate capital formation in Canada. Everything about the Trudeau mandate and the Liberal Party has been wrong, and you can measure it any way you want. If you're a Liberal, you should vote for anybody except Trudeau, and I think, unfortunately, that party is going to spend, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in the penalty box. Too bad. And that's why Carney is not taking that job. He's not crazy. He'll end up in the opposition, which is the definition of living hell in Webster's dictionary. That poor guy, he's not stupid. He's not, no one's going to take that job. What should happen is Trudeau should lead his troops into the valley of death and take the hit. And then the country can fix itself. It's time for him to find a new job. I have no idea what that's going to be, because I won't be hiring him. He put a candy store bankrupt in 2 days.
Kevin, we appreciate your insights, your time as well. Thank you so much. Kevin O'Leary is the chairman of O'Leary.